Hi, everybody. It's Wendy from the Sanctuary Radio Show. Thank you for joining us. Happy Wednesday. I hope it is as beautiful where you are as it is where I am here in the DMV. Today, we are launching the Sanctuary Radio Show's summer school. It's something that just spirit dropped down into me to do as we are moving forward with potentially, which I'm thinking like is going to be 100%, the 100% of the second wave of COVID-19, the second shutdown, the second, extra togetherness and homeschooling your children and all those things. So my idea was to create tools, because last time it's like we were caught with our pants down. Everybody just had to rush home. And I'm sharing my screen. Hold on one second, because I know I'm looking at something different, but let me share to my other page. And everybody was kind of just like shell-shocked. And I know everybody was pretty shell-shocked for the first few weeks, not knowing what was happening, afraid and all those things. So the Sanctuary Radio Show Summer School, we are going for the next 8 weeks, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. to start to create a toolkit on how to deal with when the second wave come, which they are saying is the fall and winter. The fall and winter is the true virus and flu season. So COVID coupled with the true virus and flu season could prove to be pretty interesting. So definitely want us to be prepared. So please stay tuned. We will have someone coming on talking about sustainability and the growing of your own food, so that you're not fighting people at the grocery store for the last bag of chips or whatever. We'll have a doctor talking, a naturopathic doctor talking about building your immune system. So we're all about building. So we're building the toolkit, we're building your emotions, we are building your immunity, we are building your physicality, and we are building your spirituality. So I'll have someone talking about spirituality. So it'll be for the next 8 weeks. Please join, please share. But today is extra special, and we are kicking off this with my sister, IRL, in real life. She's my big sister. Her name is Cher Carter-Hyppolite. So welcome, Cher Carter-Hyppolite.
Thank you, sister.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us. And I told her, like, spirit dropped it into me. I called her. She was like, we doing it.
Yep.
So thank you for your guests.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
inviting me.
Of course. So Cher, tell us, so what we're going to be talking about this session is Yoki Sessions with Cher. What the heck is Yoki Sessions? And then who the heck is Cher besides my sister?
Okay. So Yoki Sessions came out of my desire to combine yoga with Reiki.
Okay.
And so we were tossing around some names, and Justin, my husband, he came up with Yoki. And it makes sense. Yoga, Reiki, Yoki.
Okay.
And so what I like to do, well, going back just a little bit, whenever I took a yoga class, I enjoyed the physicality of it, but I also like the spiritual aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also felt like there needed to be more. So for instance, if you go to a yoga class and you're like, hey, all this twisting and turning is great, but I still feel anxious. I wanted to add a component that would actually soothe your parasympathetic system. Okay. And allow you to relax and walk away feeling like, okay, I'm grounded. I'm ready to rock and roll, whatever life is going to throw at me. So that's where I thought the Reiki could come in.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And so Yoki.
Oh.
Yep. And who am I? Pick something. A mother, doula, a sister, an auntie, a wife, property manager, yogini, Reiki master, shapeshifter, lover.
Mindfulness master.
Right. You know,
good cook.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm trying out here, man. I'm trying it all, you know?
Yeah. So thank you for that explanation. So you said you like the physicality of yoga. So I have taken yoga for the last 8 years in different iterations. My first one was just like at my gym, right? And they had a class and I was like, ooh, let me see what they talking about. What's the rage about yoga? And I really did love it. I really do love it. You know, I love the physicality, like you said. I really do love being able to twist and turn my body in certain ways and understand that there is a benefit to these twists and turns that I'm doing.
Absolutely.
I can't say that I always knew all of the benefits, but I can say that I liked how my body felt. I liked my strength, and I really appreciated the growth in being able to do poses and then to get into the pose, knowing that my body had started to relax and allow it. And then for myself, I'm a Scorpio with a big ego.
Right.
And you cannot have an ego on that mat.
No,
so
ma'am.
It has trained me and helped me to know that I'm not competing with anybody. It's me and my body, and the importance of listening to it and you know, just listening to it. So what was it that drew you to yoga, and what are some of the benefits?
Okay. So initially, I think I shared this story with you. I was just a little kid and I was going to the library and I saw some books and I took them out and I was in my room by myself. I would clean up my room. For some reason, it just resonated with me that it needed to be done in a really clean, comfortable space that felt, I don't know, again, grounded is what really keeps me coming back to yoga.
Okay.
And so that's how I started. I was really young. And then I didn't do it at all in my teens. And then in my 20s, started hanging out with different people from different jobs, and girls would always talk about yoga. And I was like, let's go. And I loved it. And I kept going back. And so here I am, 51, you know, I'm 30 years in, off and on.
Wow.
Yoga.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and what kept me going back in my 20s was, again, physicality. Like, oh my goodness, if I really am patient with myself, I can do amazing things. The ego piece is big because you're sitting on there, you sweating, you feel like everybody's looking at you. You look around, you're like, people don't even have time to look at me.
Ain't nobody paying attention to me.
They're on their own mat, figuring out their own stuff and their own struggles, you know, which I love. You know, we're all on the same playing field. There is a piece about that too with, you know, like if you go to advanced yoga and you feel like, oh, I can't do this. And you'll see someone doing something amazing, pick a posture that is challenging to you. It could be anything. But then you notice that they're struggling on something else too. So everyone has their different challenges. And that, again, levels the playing field. But that's why I have enjoyed yoga. And it really does tame that ego.
Yeah.
You know?
It's interesting because, you know, sometimes I would be in class and you have those like super yogis, you know, and they want you to see, right?
Right.
And so one time this lady did a headstand and she fell back on that hard ass floor. And I was like, I never thought that she would fall. And I realized once she fall, you know, you really can't have the ego, because I felt like she was trying to do that pose to show off.
Absolutely.
So for myself, I just stay in my lane, stay on my mat.
Yep.
And I just get my poses in, and I swear and I haven't really, you know, because of the Rona, my practice, which could have continued right here in my living room. Absolutely. I just didn't. I can feel the difference in my body with different things that I do. So I'm making it a point to get back on the mat and to, you know, make sure that I use those benefits. So can you tell us about some of the benefits of yoga and the different kinds too? Because I know there's different kinds. Yeah.
I think the biggest connection is the somatic experience, where you actually embody the practice, where your breath is connected to your movement. And that definitely takes you out of fight or flight, takes you into, you know, where you can rest and digest. I think that's a really big part of it. Also, you know, I think yoga is different from any other thing, where we actually are connecting with our breath. You know, most of the time we don't even realize that we're either breathing heavy until we hear ourselves, or that you're not breathing at all.
Right. That's me. I
Me
catch
too.
not breathing.
I always say that, I'm always holding my breath and or trying not to smell something stinky or whatever it is.
Right.
So it's the time that I know that I'm checking in with my breath and I actually feel all of a sudden I'm calm, and being able to so when you learn breath work in yoga, you take that right outside off the mat and you're in your car, someone's driving crazy, you're getting ready to curse them out, and then you remember your breath. And
Right.
you're able to just be like, well, bruh, if you got to get there, you go ahead.
Right.
I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be right here.
Right.
It does help with digestion, twisting your body in those ways. It really does help you work with your organs and make sure that they're working optimally. It helps with sleep. It helps with, if you're trying to become leaner in your muscle tone, you know,
Yeah.
yoga has so many benefits, but I think the one thing it really does is help you connect with yourself. You're on your mat, you're trying to figure things out. And most of the time, most of us, if you get into child's pose, and that's the yoga, getting on your mat, first of all, right? But then
Right.
you keep coming back to it and you keep coming back to it. And like you said, next thing you know, you're doing stuff that you never thought you could. And you're not going to do those things outside of yoga.
Right.
When you're lifting weights, distinctly different.
Right.
Learning patience with yourself. What is my favorite saying? Be gentle and kind with yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yoga do that for you, like all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can't believe I can't do this. I can't believe I can't do this. But if you really listen to your instructor, and it's particularly if they're good, you'll learn that patience with yourself and that self-acceptance. Not going to learn that everywhere. So
Right.
another
Well,
benefit.
I am glad that we're talking about the benefits, because a lot of people don't understand that there are benefits. There's more to it than just having a cute little mat and saying I'm going to yoga class and then being there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want
yeah,
to share that with you. During this time with COVID, you can't go shopping. Well, you can, but you're probably not in so many ways.
yeah,
Yoga has stripped away, COVID and yoga has stripped away the need for all those excessive things,
yeah,
because you can still do yoga. You could do yoga and you're on your grass,
yeah,
all those things, like you don't have to have the best thing. And you know me, I got everything. I got every stone, every crystal, every statue. I
yeah,
haven't touched them since,
yeah,
since COVID, because I'm just trying to get in my body
yeah,
and figure this thing out without losing my temper, without feeling freaked out, without being scared every time I step out the door.
right.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot, and I'm glad that we're talking about it, because in my former years, previously, I was taught that yoga was not good.
Yeah.
I was at a church, and I distinctly remember this. My sister, my line sister, shouting out to my line sister, Kyle, who is a yogi, and she was the first Black yogi that I ever saw.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who was interested in yoga, and then she started to teach class. So I was watching her from a distance, because probably a month or two before she started talking about it to me and I became aware of it, and then I knew she was doing classes, somebody at the church that I attended here in Arlington, Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
walked down the center of the aisle and yelled to everybody, and stop doing that yoga. It's of the devil. I swear, I swear. And I was like, oh, snap. I didn't really know too much about it anyway. And
Right.
then I got scared because my line sister, Kyle, who I love so much, was doing it. And then I was just like, oh man.
Going to hell.
Yeah, but then I know my line sister, and she's an amazing person. And I'm like, she wouldn't so for those people who have been taught that yoga is not good, or some of these energy type of practices and modalities to help heal yourself and get in touch with your body are not good or are not spiritual, it's the exact opposite. I felt like you said, I got into my body and learned it in a way that I had never before.
Absolutely.
And I think it's important, to look beyond the fluff of it, because now it's popular, right? So you were doing it 30 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
People been yogis for centuries. And I have even taken a comedic yoga.
Right.
So let's talk about, just for a little minute, the origins as you know it of yoga, because the yogi that we see at the gym who's blonde hair and blue-eyed is not the yogi that started this tradition, and it has expanded to different continents and in different variations. So let's talk about that for a second.
Sure. So yoga was for wealthy men, East Indian men, who wanted to transverse and not be of this world. And so, first of all, everybody's not wealthy right now, right? And everybody's not a man. But what they wanted to do was just have an out-of-body experience and work on their spirituality, as they know it, you know?
Right.
And so when it became westernized, people with money were able to go and study and bring it back here. White people, basically.
Right.
But they learned it, you know, from the East Indians. And then it just grew in popularity. And then you had like the Bikram yoga and the Hatha. And there's so many different iterations of it. But nonetheless, it grew in popularity because white women particularly want to be thin and they like to exercise. And so the spirituality component was kind of removed from it.
Yeah.
And even now, when you go to, depending on where you go and take yoga, you might get a Dharma talk. A Dharma talk is where, you know, they kind of give you kind of life lessons, if you will. But some of it is in, you know, they'll share the Sanskrit, the original language with that goes along with yoga. But even now, some of that is even removed. And so I think it's going back to its origins, and that there are more spiritual talks, and we are learning more about the people are actually using the Sanskrit names for the postures. But it's co-opted and it's forever changed. And it will never go back, because originally it wasn't even for people who lived in India if you weren't a male and you didn't have money to do it, you know?
Right, right.
So, yeah. And so even now, like, it's funny when we do postures and you're like, why can't I get my body in that way? That's because you got a boob or you got a booty, you know? It wasn't meant for us originally. It wasn't meant for women particularly.
Yeah.
Originally.
Gotcha.
But it's awesome, you know. I mean, I'm glad, and in that sense, I'm really glad that we have it, you know, because it wasn't originally for us. So I'm thankful for those who were interested. I'm thankful for those who went over and got it. And I try not to create a them and a us. I feel like, you know, the people who went over and they learned and they came and they shared it had all the best intentions. And it's just, you know, economics will always corrupt something.
Oh yeah. That's right. It's economics. So it's interesting. Like I said, I've only been a yogi for 8 years, but the last 3 is when I've had my first East Indian teachers.
Okay.
I've had an older woman who's probably in her 60s, and then a younger 30 something, maybe just about to be 40 something teacher. And their approach is totally different than what I kind of was raised in the first 5 years.
Sure.
The first 5 years was all about doing all those poses and those super crazy flows. And because I learned that way, I don't know the difference until I got to their practice. And what they taught me was, so now I feel strong, like I don't, you know, like I say, it's not a competition, but I don't need the blocks, and I never needed those things because I didn't learn that way. And my body, I was able to get my body to just do what it needed to do. And then when I got to theirs, it was more gentle.
Absolutely.
And they also shared the benefits. Like if you turn this way, your spine is twisting and it's releasing toxins. I'm like, ain't nobody tell me that before, you know? And then I do this every day, and I have done this every day for 5 years, the legs up the wall.
Oh,
I do that pose every single morning. It does not matter what's happening in my day. I don't really touch the floor until I do my legs up the wall, because just the benefits of, if you're on your legs like this, 24, 23, 6, then at least you're letting the fluids come down, and it helps with digestion and all these different things. It's my meditation. Right.
It's very important for regulating your nervous system. That's a really, really, really good posture. I don't know if you remember, we were having a party and somebody got a little out of pocket, and I was like, put your legs up the wall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I do. I do. Okay, so we talked about the benefits, and then you were talking about breathing. So, at the towards the end of this, you're going to give us what is a round? What do you call it? What do
You
yogis?
could call a round session.
A session. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so y'all get ready to get your breathe on and those things in a few minutes. If you have any questions, let me know. Please put any questions in the box. And we do have a question from our big sister. So y'all, Cher is the middle big sister. We have an older sister, and her name is Lisa. Shout out to Lisa. And she wants to know, how long before you start to see the benefits of practicing yoga?
I believe that it varies for each person, and I think that you can go in and have your first yoga session and walk out and have your life changed.
Wow.
Or you can keep going, and depending on your practice, you might not see it for the first 10 sessions. I think it all really depends on the person. And if you're ready to arrive on your mat and do the work.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. Almighty. We call Lisa Almighty. So yeah. And it's one of those things, it's like it's with anything. What you put into it is what you get out.
Absolutely. It really, really is. But the one thing that I love to talk about now with yoga is that the asanas, the postures are just one part of it,
Okay.
There's the benefit of understanding the patience, being patient with yourself, the understanding of how important it is to move your body in any way. So for instance, if yoga is not your thing, but moving your body every day,
Right.
connecting with your body, again, the somatic experience, connecting, being able to quiet your mind and sit with yourself and sit with even uncomfortable feelings, or being able to process. The one thing that I love to talk about now with yoga is that.
Wait a minute. What is that? Do you hear that, Cher?
Yeah, that's me.
That's you?
And it's me. What I said a few minutes ago.
Yeah, but I wonder why it's doing that. Okay, we're gonna cut that off.
Okay.
All right. I don't know. I was messing with buttons. So I lost my train of thought, but I do want us to talk about the benefits during this COVID time. So we are in a time where, like I said in the beginning, every day is new. So even for those of you who are watching, just 20 minutes before I got on this, where my daughter goes to school in Virginia, they're saying that you have two choices: to be online virtually your whole year, or to come twice a week. Now she's class of 2021. Does that mean there's no homecoming? Does that mean all those things, right? So now we have a whole new way to look at things. And I could tell that she wanted to cry, but I could tell that she was trying to be hard and like, I don't care. No, you care. So let's breathe. Like some of the things that I've learned in yoga and just with breath work is just how to calm yourself down, have your emotional discharge, but then calm yourself down to be able to just like think through and just be through. You don't have to do anything besides the breath. Just be through what you just got. This is all, I think we're not shocked that it came to this, but it's sad, she's sad because things are changing. So that's happening to all of us. And that is why I created the summer school series, is because we are all being stressed in more ways than we were prior. America is one of the most stressed out countries and cultures in the world because we are a go, go, go culture. But the reason for the summer school is to offer tips for now and for when other things come, because they're always going to come. Like I said, I didn't notice 30 minutes ago. So now we're processing this. And what do we do? How do we keep ourselves straight and in harmony with this new information? And so you are going to give us some tips on how to just like drop into our body and to be mindful and to breathe, right?
Sure, we can talk about it. So one thing for sure is when this whole thing hit, I am I am a reactor. And not a negative way. I don't mean it that way. It's just like, what do you need me to do? And that's what I'm going to do. And
Right.
so that's what I did. And each and every day, I had to remind myself to breathe. And thankfully, I had started my training. And so I had those tools.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't say that I got on my mat every day.
Right.
But that was because I was just moving and trying to figure things out. Like you said, we doing this on the fly, you know.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
the days that I did get on my mat, I did notice the benefits right away. And so I have not done any vinyasa flows. I haven't done any power flows. I haven't done anything that at some point feels like additional stress.
Had those tools.
Then I'm already under. I haven't missed a day of work. I go to work. Go to work Monday through Friday. I work full days. So what I do is I make time for restorative yoga. The yoga that's going to have me laying on my back, being able to connect with my breath, being able to let my mind wander, but bring it back into the moment. That's very important. But also then I do gentle yoga postures that will help again with my digestion. It'll help soothe my parasympathetic system. It will help me not be stagnant because now we spend so much time doing stuff like this, you know, sitting in front of our computers.
Yep.
My eyes have not been as bright because I'm always on my computer now. So taking the time to do yoga, I'm able to close my eyes and I'm able to kind of go inward, you know, and give myself a rest. So I think those are the things that people can benefit from when they're during this time and going forward. And when you do all those things, you help build your immune system, right?
Right. Which is
We don't
important
know.
for now.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Which is more important now than ever.
So important.
Yeah.
So important. And you could be eating as healthy as you like, but if you're not taking care of what's going on inside, your immune system still is not optimal. It just won't be. So, you know, yoga is one of those things. It's a tool. It's like you said, in your toolkit. Yoga can be a part of your toolkit that will help you build your immune system to help you, if you get COVID, heal, you know. And if you were, you know, one of the people, like I was here in my house, I didn't get it. But the stress of dealing with it and then trying to stay healthy because I didn't know what that would look like for me.
Right.
Yoga was very helpful in that way. And then, you know, Zoe, my daughter, she was involved and it was just part of our daily after a while. You know, she would help me with learning sequences or whatever, but I do know that she also got the benefit from it. You know, she was able to get out of her head.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, here we are, like I said, I'm 51, you're 40, 49? Right? And we have never seen anything like this. And our children are asking us, Mommy, so what are we gonna do now? You're like,
I don't know.
we're gonna breathe, so we're gonna eat good, we're gonna stretch, we're gonna go for long walks, we're gonna take care of ourselves. That's all we have is our health.
Yeah. Health is wealth.
Yes, ma'am. And the issues are in our tissues, so you can't absorb more than you can absorb when it comes to this. So you gotta figure out how you're gonna work that out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So is there, we do have Asha, our niece, says thank you. She needed this. So hey Asha, I see
Hey,
you.
Asha.
Our another little baby sister. She's a little baby. Baby is like 48. Shannon, we call her Shan. She's on here. And then my line sister Shannon is here. Hey Shannon.
Hey, Shannon.
So thank you all for joining. If you all have any questions, please let me know. Let us know. But what do we need to do to start getting, what are you going to take us through? What do we need to stand up or sit down, or what can we do?
So I thought it through and I was like, it's 4:00 in the afternoon. Most of us have had to deal with something today.
Yeah.
Whether you got on social media and you were like, oh, I mean, I won't even go further than that.
Yeah.
Like you said, Sid got her, her news today, and it's like, dang. So what I decided to do was just do something very gentle and restorative. So so if you have your yoga mat, you can just sit on your mat, get in a comfortable position. If you have a yoga block, that'd be great. If not, cool. A blankie if you want for Shavasana. Okay. But I just kept it real simple, very simple movement and just very simple breath work.
All right. So let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so are you gonna stay seated or are you gonna get
I'm
on your?
going to stay seated because I want to be able to manage in case, people have questions or whatever.
Okay, and this is part of, I think I was telling you that I had to come up with a script for my final, and so this is gonna be some of it, and so I'm still memorizing it, so I'm just gonna read it so I can make sure I'm fluid with it.
All right, you got it.
Okay,
Gonna be great.
all righty. So beginning in a comfortable seated position, and that could be anything for anybody. You can cross your legs if you like. You can, anything that's comfortable for you.
Okay.
We're gonna gently remove the flesh from our sits bones. So that means move over your booty meat so you can get grounded.
Moving.
Yeah. So you can just be grounded and connect to the earth and to your mat or your chair, wherever you are.
Okay.
We're going to begin to gently close our eyes, or you can even lower them if you don't want to close your eyes. We're just going to arrive. You're going to arrive on your mat, arrive in your body, and just begin to notice your breath. You don't have to change anything. Just begin to notice your breath. You can allow your hands to rest on your shins, on your knees, or you can place one hand on your beautiful little heart and one on your belly. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. We're going to sit tall. I like to say sit tall with dignity. It always makes everyone sit up nice and tall. Allow your spine to be long. Allow your shoulders to drop away from your ears. A lot of us kind of don't even realize that our shoulders are sitting up there. Soften your face. Allow your tongue to move away from the roof of your mouth. I like to gently smile to myself, or I call it smizing. It immediately kind of just makes you more relaxed. We're going to start with a simple breathwork exercise. And you're just going to, again, simply just notice your breath. Start to slow the inhales and lengthen the exhales. And we're going to start to count. You can just count in your head. We're going to start to inhale for 4 seconds. Hold. Then we're going to exhale for 6. And hold. On your inhales, allow your belly to expand. And on the exhales, just bring your belly in towards your spine. We're just going to keep doing that. I have this really cool excerpt I want to read. It's from this author I just found out about, Young Pueblo, and it's from his book, Inward. Healing yourself will ask more of you. More rest, more self-love, more letting go, more time for learning, more space for transformation, more honesty about how you feel, more time developing good habits, more courage to try new practices, more time cultivating your inner peace, more faith in yourself in the process. Just continue breathing. We're going to move into our first posture called bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana. From your seated position, you're going to bring the bottoms of your feet together with your knees bent out to the sides. And if it's available to you, interlace your fingers around your toes. On your inhale, press your hips down and reach the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. You're going to drop your shoulders down and back, press your chest forward, keeping your back flat and your chest open. You're Going to exhale and gently pull your torso towards your feet. Go where it's comfortable for you. Close your eyes and breathe, and we're going to hold here for 5 breaths. The benefits of it: opening up your hips, opening up your chest, lengthens your spine, stimulates the reproductive and nervous systems. On your next inhale, lower your palms down to your mat. Turn your torso forwards, and we're going to extend both feet and legs forward and straight. We're going to move into staff pose, Tadasana. You're going to flex your feet, energize your legs, drawing your quadriceps up and your kneecaps. Your feet and knees should be pointing towards the ceiling. We're going to lengthen our spine. Your arms are going to reach down beside your body, and your palms press down into the ground to create more length in your spine. And just remember your breath. Although it's a pretty simple pose, it's a little bit challenging. You're going to draw on those lower abdomens and create more support for the length of your spine. This helps strengthen your back muscles, your abdomen, your quadriceps, and it's a very grounding and meditative posture. The next posture we're going to do is seated forward pose. You're going to keep your legs extended out in front of you. You're going to adjust your pelvis to bring equal weight into both of your sitting bones. Engage the muscles in your legs. On your inhale, sit up tall and through your spine, lift the chest. On your exhale, press your hands down into the ground on either side of your legs to find more length in your spine. Just press through those sit bones on the top of your legs. You can just hold that posture. It stretches the entire back of your body, your calves, your hamstrings. Particularly, it calms the nervous system. On your next inhale, lengthen and lift back up, sliding your hands back, landing next to your hips. You should be sitting up straight. What we're going to do next is we're going to meet on all fours. We're going to move into tabletop position. So you're going to come to your hands and your knees. If you need to, you can place your blanket underneath your knees just for comfort. Bring your knees hip width apart. Place your feet directly behind your knees, and your palms are directly under your shoulders with your fingers facing forwards. We're just going to hold here for 5 breaths. Press your tailbone towards the back wall, and the crown of your head is going to go forward. And just breathe deeply here. Let's do it for 5 breaths. Next pose is cat and cow. So the cat would be, you're going to draw in your belly and you're going to arch your back, round your back like a scary Halloween cat. And then on your exhale, you're going to lower your belly down towards the ground and stick your tailbone out. You go into cat, you're drawing back up, going down to cow, dropping your belly, pushing your tailbone back. And you can do a round of that on your own. Let's do it here for 5 breaths. On your next inhale, let's meet in tabletop, back on all fours. And then we're going to push back into child pose. On your exhale, lower your hips towards your heels. And you can bring your forehead down to your mat or onto the floor. We're just going to hold here for 5 breaths. Child's pose calms the body, your mind, and your spirit. Stretches your lower back, massages and tones your organs, stimulates digestion and elimination. Very important. And then for yogi's choice, you could either meet us in downward facing dog, if that's available to you, or you can go back to tabletop. If you're in downward facing dog, you're just making sure you're spreading your fingers out wide. You're pushing your hips back, reaching your chest towards your thighs. Your feet are hips width apart. Your toes are facing forward. And you're pressing into your heels, feeling the stretch in the back of your legs, letting your head hang freely. You can shake it yes and no, up and down, back and forth. Down dog is great to stimulate your brain and your nervous system. It helps improve your memory, which is really important. Concentration, hearing, and eyesight has a lot of really great benefits. If you're in downward facing dog, bend your knees slightly, look between your hands, and walk them forward, and you're going to end up standing up straight right at the top of your mat. On your inhale, come all the way up. Float your arms up over your head, look up. And then you can float your hands down to your beautiful heart center. And we're going to meet in mountain pose, Tadasana. That means you're just going to be standing there tall, feet are rooted, hands down by your sides. We're going to move into Uttasana, standing forward fold. On your exhale, hinging from your hips, bend your knees just very slightly, bend your knees and bring your palms flat to the floor. Feel your spine stretching in opposite directions. Feel the stretch in the back of your legs. You're literally just bent over with your hands down on the floor. You can breathe here for 5 breaths. Allow your belly to push into your thighs. Just let it go. On your inhale, you can step back down into downward facing dog if that's available to you. Or we can just meet back in tabletop. Tabletop is all fours. Moving from there, we're going to move into crocodile pose. I love this pose. So find your way onto your belly. Then you can put your arms, cross your arms, and rest your head if you like. Rest your forehead on your wrists. And you're just going to close your eyes and allow your whole body to relax into the floor, to the ground, to your mat. Let your heels turn out and let your legs just flop open. We're just going to breathe deeply here for a few breaths. Crocodile is really good for stress and tension. Sleep helps regulate your blood pressure, helps with anxiety. Let's just hold here for 5 more breaths. And we're going to move into half frog pose. Very, very simple. So you're going to stay lying on your belly. Press your forearms against the floor. And you're going to slide your right leg up to your hips height. So you go into a 90-degree angle, if that's possible for you. Just going to relax there for 5 breaths. Then you can slide that leg down to meet your left. And we're just going to slide your left leg up. Hips height, 90-degree angle. I'm going to breathe right here. On your next exhale, you can extend your leg and you're just lying there flat. Next pose, Sphinx. You're going to bring your arms up and rest your elbows under your shoulders with your forearms on the floor. So you're going to look like this. You need to look at me. On your inhale, press your forearms onto the floor and lift your head and chest off the floor. So just like a sphinx that you see in Egypt. Elbows tucked into your sides. Drop your shoulder blades down your back. Draw your chest forward. Lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. Strongly engage your legs. Let your face soften. Don't look like this. And we're going to hold for 5 breaths. It's a nice little back bend. On the exhale, you can just slowly release your torso back down to the mat or onto the floor. Inhale, exhale, and then we're going to roll over onto our backs. We're going to do happy baby. Just give you a few minutes to get settled, a few breaths to get settled. So to begin happy baby, lie on your back and inhale. While exhaling, you're going to bring your knees in towards your chest and give them a nice hug, nice squeeze. Inhale here, and as you exhale, separate the knees, raise the soles of your feet towards the ceiling. Your ankles are directly above your knees, and then your shins are straight, perpendicular to the floor. Reach your hands up through the middle of your legs while inhaling, and then grab the insides or the outsides of your feet with your hands. And allow the weight of your arms to pull your thighs in towards your body. Hold here for 5 breaths. You can gently sway side to side to massage your lower back. Your shoulders should be relaxed and away from your ears. Happy baby opens our hips. It helps lessen depression and emotional stress. When you're ready, you can just release your feet, bring your knees back into your chest, give yourself another little hug, and then bring your feet flat on the floor. We're going to move into bridge pose. Put your feet flat on the floor, slide your arms alongside your body with the palms facing down. Your fingertips should be lightly touching your heels. So you can scoot your heels back so that your fingertips are touching your heels if that's available to you. And then you're going to press your feet into the floor. And on your inhale, you're going to lift your hips up, rolling your spine off the floor or off your mat. Press down into your arms and shoulders to lift your chest up, engage your legs, your quads, your buttocks, and you're going to lift your hips as high as available to you. We're going to hold here for 5 breaths. If you have a yoga block, and if that would be helpful, you can put it right underneath your sacrum, right underneath your lower back. I'm going to hold here for 5 breaths. If you have the block there, gently move it from underneath you and allow your spine to roll back down. And extend both legs, shake it out a little bit. And then we're going to slide our legs back up, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. We're going to move into Supta Baddha Konasana. It's a reclining bound angle pose. So slide your legs up, allowing your knees to open, and bring the sides, the bottoms of your feet together. With your hands, grip the top of your thighs and help them rotate outwards. And then on your inhale, you can slide your arms down along the floor, and then on your inhale, bring them up overhead. We're going to hold here for 5 breaths. This stimulates organs, your ovaries, kidneys. It helps with heart function and your circulation, stretches the inner thighs, the groin, the knees, helps relieve symptoms of stress, mild depression. It's good for menopause. And on your inhale, bring your knees back together. Give another little hug if you like, and then slide them out and extend your legs out in front of you, moving into Shavasana. Corpse. Allow yourself to get really comfortable. If you want to put a blankie over you, you can. Put a pillow over your head. Anything that's going to keep you comfortable for the next few minutes. One thing I noticed when I was doing yoga, and we were told we're going to do Shavasana. Initially, I didn't even know what it was, and I was so confused. And then so I'd lay there because I'm like, what time is it? And I'm ready to go. So I love taking the time to just describe and or give cues for Shavasana as well. So you can close your eyes and begin to take deep, slow breaths, whatever that means for you. Don't try to control it though. Allow your whole body to become soft and heavy, letting it relax into the floor. As your body relaxes, you can begin to feel it rising and falling with each breath. Scan your body. Start from your toes, wiggle them, relax them. Move up to your knees. You're going to relax them. If you're holding tight somewhere, let it go. Relax your belly. Let it expand on your inhales. Relax your booty cheeks. We're always clenching. Ready for the next thing. Just let it go. Relax your shoulders. Bring them away from your ears. Once again, relax your face. Relax your mouth. Relax your throat. Release all control of the breath. Just let it go. I always do my little thank yous. So let's do a few thank yous. If you like, you can bring your hands together, rub them together. I like to do that just to create a little energy. You can bring them to your ears. Let's give thanks. Thank you, ears. Thank you, ears, for allowing me to hear the birds. Right now, the birds sound so beautiful. This time of year is awesome. Allowing us to hear children's laughter, hearing the words of our loved ones. You could bring your hands back together, rub them together, create a little energy. Very gently place them on your throat. Thank you, throat. Thank you for the ability to speak, to sing songs, to laugh. Let's rub them together again. Rub your hands together again. Place them on your heart. Thank you, beautiful heart, for all that you've endured, giving me the strength to keep it going. Thank you, heart. Bring your hands back together. Create some energy there and then place them on your belly. Thank you, belly. Thank you for my intuition. Thank you for holding my food, my nourishment. Thank you for the ability to let me know when I got to get the heck up out of there or when I should stay. Belly is the big brains behind the scenes. Thank you, belly. Take a few more breaths in very deeply and let it all out. Exhale. And gratitude to your whole body. We just gave a couple of accolades, but everybody deserves something. When you're ready, you can turn over to either side, your left or your right, into a fetal position. You can use your bottom arm as a cushion for your head. And then use your top palm to push you up into a seated position. If you enjoyed it, I'll just give everybody a little namaskar. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you for that namaste. Yes, thank you. That was beautiful. And, I'm getting a lot of questions. So I see my big sister Carla, my line sister Rance. Hey, y'all, thanks for joining. And you can watch this again. So this is going to be on Facebook Live, and then it'll be on my YouTube page or my website if you want to get it again. But then you'll be able to then rest. And, if you were at work or at your desk, or, it's too early for you to do this, this is not your time.
Right.
Come back to it. Come back and watch it, and get the benefits.
Absolutely. Right. And if you had the opportunity to lay down and rest, do it again tonight when it's time to go to bed. It's a really great way to just really calm down and arrive again in your body, because we're moving.
Absolutely. And the whole, when you kept saying release the jaw and all that, I have to remember to do it, because whenever I'm tensed up, it's always right here and in my jaw, like right here.
Yep.
You see it just like clench.
Yep.
So to be able to do the breath and to remember and become aware, I think awareness is pretty much everything. If
Absolutely.
you're aware of your body and aware of your thoughts and, aware of how some of these benefits work, then they become more impactful.
Absolutely. I had no idea until I started doing yoga and really paying attention how much tension I held in my body, and there wasn't anything wrong.
Right.
I wasn't nervous or anything. I was just sitting up and I'm like, oh, you're right.
Right.
Hey, this feels so much better, And
Right.
I'm always clenching my booty cheeks. I'm like, relax, booty cheeks, you're fine.
Yeah, you fine. You all right. Relax.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's funny. And then I noticed that you talked about breath. You mentioned breath quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to just highlight something there, the movement. So these are tools that you can use as we are going through whatever's happening. These are life tools, life skills, and breath is life.
Mm-hmm.
And we know it now more than ever, because the slogan for the time is I can't breathe.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so we get to understand how important breath is in this moment. If we never understood the importance of it before, I think we take these things for granted. So even at being a yogi and in my practice, I get to learn the organs and understand how to support the organs and things like that. So I'd like to offer something for you to consider, for those of you who are watching, is to please stop saying, I can't breathe. I know you want to be in solidarity with what's going on, and I know you want to be in solidarity with the movement and Black Lives Matter, but you're not in solidarity if you're not breathing. And so just know that I'm about energy, and the energy and the things you say, it's like the I am factor. Your word is your wand, word is bond. Whatever it is you want to say, you can start to attract that stuff. If you keep saying for the last month that you can't breathe, don't be surprised if you can't breathe at some point, whether you have some kind of respiratory something. So just be really, really careful of the words that you're saying. Like they say, the words is coming out of your mouth. They are magic. It's abracadabra. It's and so it is. It's ashe. It's amen. And so it is. So don't wear those shirts anymore. I know you paid the money, but you supported the business. So use it as a cleaning rag on Saturdays.
Or put a big X across it and alter it yourself.
Yeah, don't do that energy. What you want to say is, I'm breathing, give thanks.
One thing I think that we haven't considered is that our bodies we're still evolving, and we're not that far into evolution. And so our bodies don't know the difference between being chased by a saber-toothed tiger and social media. If you tell your body to be in fight or flight, it doesn't realize it doesn't know the difference. Yep. So if you're saying you can't breathe, your body like, we can't breathe. And so what is happening? Everything is trying to figure out how we can make that happen. Yeah. And it's a struggle. Yeah. Don't add more to your struggle.
Don't add yourself to the struggle. Don't add more chips to the struggle. Seriously. Mm-hmm. So I know a lot of people aren't aware of that, but I see it every day. And my friend Cheryl pointed that out to me during the Eric Garner iteration of this same baloney, right?
Mhm.
You were with us, Cher, when we went
Yep.
to the Women's March, and
Yep.
they kept saying and then I was like, I can't. She was like, yes, you can. You better stop saying that.
But Haley said the same thing. Yes,
I
you
took it
can.
and I went with it from then. And so it's just a gentle reminder, and it's just something for you to consider. Just be careful with the energy that you put out. Also be careful with what you're consuming. I still see many of my friends, many people that I care about, many people that I don't really know that much, but they're on my feed still posting pictures of Black death. And you know, so I need to have these tools. I need to have this yoga and this mindfulness to be able to calm myself, because I could have just been minding my business, scrolling, and then you see an image that shocks my system. This is not normal. These
It's not
things are
normal.
normal. The body, like Cher says, has not evolved to see this kind of ongoing, persistent trauma, and to absorb it. And we absorb it. It goes through our eyes, and then our body feels it. And then here we go, clenched up chest, clenched up everything, just trying to figure
Clenched
out
up booty
how
cheeks.
to how to distill that. And we're not made for that. This is not normal. So
I just want to add to that, Wen. So what we need to understand about that is that our bodies are looking for the next fix. And so that those clicks on those images is flooding your body with dopamine.
yeah.
And so that's addictive, you know? And so if your body feels like it's getting what it wants, that's why people are addicted to drugs and all these other things. And that's why social media is addictive. So if you're looking for your dopamine dose, don't let it be negative imagery, because you'll get hooked and it'll be really hard to get off of it. So find it somewhere else, you know, find it in your loved one's eyes or at the tree, something.
Dance.
Absolutely.
Watch some happy baby videos when them babies are cracking up. Or if you're a cat person, watch the cat playing with the string, or
the
watch
puppies and all that. Yep.
people coming home from the military. Those kinds of things definitely help versus what we, have access to. So the happy, dopamine is considered like the happy hormone. It makes you happy. And some people get that hit from how many clicks they get.
Right. They post something and they can't stay away trying to see how many likes or clicks. You're right.
So just my little soapbox, I'm sliding down it now, but I just wanted to share that because I feel like the more people who know that, the more people can share that and then keep sharing it. And then, just give us all life. Cause it's a reaction. It just goes out, so thank you for listening to that. And again, Cher. So thank you so much. And if anybody, we are in a situation where right now we are seeing this Black Lives Matter, this Black business matter, supporting Black business. So I encourage you to support my sister. I have put a tip jar out for her. She has Venmo. So if you can send her a couple dollars, because if you benefited, then it's an exchange. So as an exchange,
take your reciprocity.
Yeah, it's an exchange for her sharing these tools with us. You use them, you say you like them, please consider. So her Venmo is Cher, CHER Carter, CARTR Hyppolite, HYPPOLITE, and it's in the box. So please consider. So Black people, and specifically Black women, have given free labor far too long. So we are trying to get people out of the mindset of just taking and no reciprocity. So on the summer school, I will always put out a tip jar for my guests to encourage us to change our mind. If we're talking support Black business, this is how you do it. Absolutely. This is how you do it. It's an exchange. Right. So please consider donating. And thank you again, sister. And I love you. And I love you too. This was great. So Janine, who was on the summit, was like, she made time for today because she loved what happened before. So she made time. And then, a lot of people were saying, thank you. It was beautiful. And so if you liked it, then share it. Please consider sharing it. Our sisters were here, Shannon and Lisa, and consider sharing it to give other people. Again, we are building our toolkit for the second wave and just for life. So we are building a toolkit. So this is a breath, energy work. This is a very powerful tool that you can have, and then you can expand on this. As my sister is starting to build her Yoki Sessions, I will always share information where you can get her unique brand of Yoki, because she does it unlike any other person, and her voice is very soothing. So
thank you, sister.
yes. So thank you again, and we will see you in the next week on Monday. I have a special edition of the Sanctuary Radio Show, Summer School Edition. I'm having my friend Lisa Marie Goodson from the Blackberry Beauty Academy, and she's in my book, come talk about, she left the United States just to visit Ghana right before COVID hit, and then she stayed.
Wow.
She's building a life there. She left North Carolina just to visit, and they shut the borders down, and she's there, but she's staying. So she's going to talk about her experience as an expat who didn't expect to be an expat, but now she's been there since March, and she's already created a beautiful life, and she's creating an industry there, and she's inviting us to come. So we're going to talk about what it looks like living in another country, specifically Africa, specifically Ghana. And she's going to offer some spiritual tools on how we can navigate this time. Again, we're offering tools how to navigate this time as we're moving forward and tapping into our more African-centered indigenous tools that are ours. They are ours, and we have been stripped of them, or we have forgotten about them. So we are now remembering, and there are people there who are sharing this information. And then it's going to be everybody, like if Trump win 2020, which I'm going to cancel that because he ain't winning it, so energy. But they're saying, if something go down, I'm out. Where are you going?
Right. What's the plan?
Especially if you don't have a Caribbean or African country that the old country that your family goes to. If you're a traditional African American with no connection to the roots, where are you going? So Lisa Marie is going to share what it can look like to go and to live in another country and to be treated better, to be around people who look like you, and how far your money can go. So you don't want to miss Monday at 11 a.m. And then next Wednesday, my very own niece is a licensed social worker and a licensed cosmetologist, and she's going to give us tools on how to mitigate the stress that we might be feeling, how stress impacts us, and trauma impacts us over a lifetime. What is happening now can be very traumatic. A lot of people have found themselves in traumatic situations since COVID and since the reemergence in a public way of persistent racism. So she's going to show us how to navigate that, give us more tools for the toolkit, and specifically how to help your children distill and sift and sort through some of this trauma. So you don't want to miss that. So join us for summer school. It's free. Give your tips, and we thank you. Please share, and we'll see you next time. So thank you again, Cher, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you, sister. Okay.